Hello, and welcome to Emerald Thoth with me, Mark. We are outside in the sunshine in Surrey again today, here to get some more messages for you. So before I start the read, then there's going to be another bit of a different read today. Just wanted to say what kind of happened to me today that was nice and like spiritual guidance, and just felt so aligned. So where I'm staying at the moment, we have a cat called Alfie, and he's a very outgoing cat, and he reminds me of a previous cat we had called Ollie. And Ollie I've always seen as like my feline soulmate, that I could talk to, that could understand me, that there was a soul connection and resonance there that I didn't even realise at the time, but later on I would picture that's Ollie, and I'd kind of seen him in the 5D realm. And then Alfie came in, and he was a stray, and he came into my family is staying, and he has so many characteristics that are just like Ollie, but not completely. And he came and he found this home with parents, because he was stray and going around different areas, he'd been abandoned. And he eventually has settled there, and he's becoming more and more settled. But something he does, he loves when you go out in the garden and play with him, like when you're outside with him, he really loves that. And obviously he spent some time being outside, surviving and living that way. And today I saw him on the fence, a few minutes walk from where we are and in these fields, and I came over it and I saw him. And then he was just incredibly friendly. He was rolling around in the grass, he was incredibly happy to see me, more than usual, and he even displayed a love and affection that was like Ollie, which I'd seen parts of, but it was almost a message and like a soul fragment of Ollie to say, come further, an encouragement to come further. And I found some incredible nettles just growing there, and kind of linking to some foraging roots somewhere, made some nettle tea that just filled up my soul with these hand-picked nettles. And that was from following Ollie and this encouragement. And then as I went on the way back, I didn't think he'd follow me all the way, but he did. He followed me back as well, and it just felt like we were both free. And whereas I could have that sense of affection and connection with Ollie in the house, by the house, Alfie was always having this extra level of affection, or that similar affection to Ollie, when we were out just in these fields. So maybe it's a sign about connecting to your natural roots, that there's something higher for you out there the further you go, and soul connections that you may have had previously can enhance, or you find new ones when you are further away from what you know as home or safety or security, in the uncomfortable areas that are actually more home to your soul than you might realize, and the people and connections who are going to be there with you, as well as the way you're going to treat your body and the land. And it felt very abundant to have those natural resources and use those nettles for a health benefit. Okay. It also gives me a sense of ancestral lineage and helping, and my family aren't people who are too into the spiritual as such, but there is a belief that Ollie was like a reincarnation of my grandfather, or had parts of him guiding and protecting, and Alfie has some resonance of that soul fragments as well within him, and of course his own individual identity as a cat. So that's an interesting thing to happen today, and it just talks generally, for whatever the situation is for you, is about natural connection, and connection to your ancestors, and connection to your guides, and connection to the earth. And this is all around you, and when you follow this guidance and you take in the synchronicities, there was so many synchronicities today, then you can be guided forward. The other thing with Alfie is he's black and white cat. I call him cow cat sometimes, and it represents a kind of yin and yang. He's almost a balance within himself, and I'm learning more and more as I go along. A little bit like this black and white bracelet on today, as well as seeing a black and white horse in the field. That was the only horse that was there as we came back. So with that being said, the draw today, to give you some more information, I'm going to use primarily the Secrets of the Ancestors cards. I'll do a similar read as I did yesterday, looking at the 4 directions, or the 4 elements as such, with the body as in the earth, and the spirit as fire, and the mental realms as the swords, and the air, and the emotional realm, like cups and water. Okay, so the body and the physical realm would be pentacles as well if you follow the tarot, and fire would be wands, spirit. And I will take a card in the middle as well to kind of signify, and let's see where the guidance is for you today as you move forward, as you move out of your comfort zone and you find those guides and places and you connect with your natural self and the earth as well. So one for the body, the physical realm, and then one for spirit. One for that one wants to pop out for the mental realm, and then for the emotional realm. And the significator there at the top. At the bottom of the deck to guide all 5 of these cards and overlooking everything as they would is Father God, a Radical Truth, number 43. This talks about staying in and speaking your and being connected to a radical, a divine, a higher truth. So it's quite apt to say that that card comes in as an underlying factor, because underlying everything that we do is source and source creation. So let's have a look at the cards. At the body, in the physical realm, is the twins' conscious connection. Yesterday I mistook it for Libra initially, and I realised that might be a message for someone in there, so I say it again today. And Libra also talks about relationships, but this is essentially the same as the Lovers, which is ruled by Gemini. Conscious connections, number 6. 6 is a number of balance, being guided by, in a sense, a divine mother or a divine kind of Aphrodite figure if you want. It's normally an angel that is in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, but again a sense of innocence and connections. And this is giving a sense that you're being guided to connections that resonate with your soul, that resonate with your inner child, that resonate with divine love, whether they are platonic, friendly, working, or romantic. These are guiding you to the places that are the moon to your sun, the sun to your moon, and everything in between. And the more balanced you are internally, these are amplified by connections that will reflect that. The less you are, the probably more you're trying to cover that lack with somebody else, which can help, but only normally for a time. And if you're growing, then you won't grow and accelerate as much as in your highest timelines and abundance if you're taking people with you who aren't willing to do the same. But this being in the physical is saying there are elements, there are ways in the physical realm that these are coming to actual connections if you go to actual places where these people might be. And the next card for spirit is the Griot, blessed. This is the same as the sun. It's a good sign. So the Griot talks to storytellers and poets and writers and people bringing ancient traditions through different places. The first time I've realised on this card are sunflowers, with the emphasis being on the sun as much as it's the flower. It's a joyous card, number 19, related to the sun card in tarot. It says spirit is infinitely blessing you, and the more you are connected to spirit, the more joy and bliss you will feel, the more you will feel that sense of grace and love and being whole in the universe without a need for any sort of external validation. It's nice. Enjoy that, bask in that, take a second just to feel that love and grace and blessedness and bliss. So in the mental realm is the world. The ancestral force, completion, number 21. Ending of a cycle, and if you know that the swords in tarot, one of the best of the sword suits is the 10 of swords, because it's the end of a cycle. And it's, thankfully, everything has kind of come to an end and to a rest within that. There is the 4 of swords, which is the small incarnation of that end and rest, but you kind of get a bigger sense with the 10 of swords and the breaking of dawn. Now I actually normally relate the 10 of swords to the death card and a change and transformation, but this feels a little bit more like that completion of it, like a bigger sort of cycle for you, and a kind of almost ending in a sense. There will be another beginning, because there always is. There is circle of time and life, and sometimes more spirals, but we seem to see life in cycles as it works with us, in the 3D especially. And this is related to the world, it's related to Earth, it's related to Saturn. And Saturn is quite disciplined, it's also quite material in a way. So this is giving a sense, as opposed to the Devil card, which is trying to break free from material addictions or trying to put positive ways on those material ways of being. This is a completion, a fulfillment of things. And so it says, your mind has come to the end of certain cycles and is quite fulfilled if you're in divine alignment, like your spirit is, and your body and the areas, environments, and the conscious connections that you're making are as well. Good so far. The emotional realm. Number 7, the monarch, victorious. I'm laughing because it's a beautiful read so far, and the ancestral guidance and help you're getting is wonderful, and this is the day I've kind of felt so far. Is underlined by the Father God and radical truth. And then in your emotional realm you have the monarch. Seems quite a fast card, and it is normally, if in the modern kind of tarot decks they'll have like a car or a motorcycle or something with it, but it is Cancer as well, and Cancer is quite a homely card. And so this senses your inner balance, and you're victorious within yourself as well, but you are also like a star. And you have 2 suns here, so if you want more abundance, emotionally you're feeling quite fulfilled. The emotional realm is very much Cancerian, there are masters of it in general when they're in the right space. And this gives a sense that you are in your divine prowess. This is one of the first king goddesses in Egypt, I believe. I can't remember the name, but the beard here as such seems to indicate that this queen or king, it doesn't really matter about the label, was as strong as any man. Because it doesn't matter in that sense strength, it comes in various forms, and a divine sense strength isn't necessarily how we see it on this 3D realm. Maybe we should see it more like that. The stars are there, these are quite active Sphinx type beings, and they are ready to go. So your emotions are coming into a good sense of balance, a good sense of bliss, a good sense of harmony, and ready to be shared and shown and stood proudly, and that you are standing proudly and strongly and victoriously in your own emotions. Okay, the final card of this pool, and centering all of this, is the Mother of Water, number 30, emotional self-care. Surrounded by ads, quite a beautiful spread, and a very strong card to follow on from that last card, the monarch and the emotions. The Queen of Cups, as it is very secure in themselves and their emotions, when well aspected of course, but receptive to the universe and divine flow. And in here there's a sense of cosmic peace and balance and being your own light, interestingly, in this card. Again, a sense of innocence and childlike and connections in this particular card, with 2 children, happy as Larry, we say for some reason here, but happy as babies maybe is the better one, because the innocence and purity in babies is quite divine. And she is holding her hand to her heart. She's very comfortable in who she is, however she looks. She's just abundant in an emotional sense in here. And so are you, and with all this guidance, if you're following it and feeling it and receiving it, are incredibly abundant in all spheres, it looks like, at this moment in time, and long may it continue. And your ancestors are blissfully happy with you. Just make sure to take self-care and to protect your own energy and be as secure in that energy, because all of the blessings are around you. Even if you can't necessarily see in 3D, there will be the connections that come, and you will move into that if you're in the space for it. There is a sense of completion, and that completion is a good level of fulfillment and bliss. Make sure to remember that you are divinely guided, and to stick to a radical, universal truth. Let's see some cards to support it from the other decks. First, the crows, to see how many want to come out. There's one card that wants to come out in particular, and a second one as well. Trickery, number 50. So be careful, because there are still people and places and things and connections in the material realm that are not always the right thing and not always going to help you keep this peace and level of bliss that you have grown and sustained for yourself. So be careful of what the trickery is, because the Lovers is also about choices, and this card is talking about choices, because people can lay traps for you and deceptions, and you are just to be wary and just to trust, really. We always talk about being wary, but don't be so wary that you're in fear and anxiety. Just trust the things you know and what your intuition is telling you. And this tricky, you won't deceive yourself by also deceiving others as well. Be careful not to be too much in the trickster energy yourself. If it's not divinely aligned, if it's not for a higher kind of good, and very often in this 3D realm, it isn't. So make sure you're aware and you're being honest and you're sticking in that radical truth. So neither people are able to deceive you, or nor you're able to deceive yourself with trickery. Following that is direction, so make sure you have the right direction and nobody tricks you into the wrong direction, or you're tricking yourself that you are in the right direction when you're not. Align yourself. And this bird is flying and soaring quite high. The bottom of the deck is freedom. And underneath that is distraction. Make sure to avoid distraction. But in here, freedom is available for you. These cards are abundant and free, and if you keep going and trusting the path and trusting your guides, all of them, including Source itself, you're going somewhere good, kid. And it feels beautiful. It feels beautiful and abundant and natural and right. Not just in a sense of you have loads of money, you have loads of friends. It feels like you are connected, and then the connections around you are supporting that blissfully so. Let's have a look from the Divine Masters as to who's guiding you here. Our old friend just popped out, Melchizedek. Divine knowledge, follow that radical truth. This message keeps coming through, so you are being advised to keep trusting that higher power, that knowledge, and keep committed to the path. Commit to your vision through study and higher learning. That's a clear message. Let's see if there's anyone else. So also that came along with Melchizedek is El Moria. Spiritual force field, protective light is surrounding you, you are safe. This is a message from the universe that you are safe. Try not to be in too much fear and anxiety. Trust yourself and your instincts and your intuition and your guides, that you are being protected and that you are being moved along the right path if you are in alignment with these divine guides and ancestral guides and beings. A lot of blue as well, talking about the throat chakra and speaking the truth, speaking your truth, listening to others' truths, and staying in that higher vibration. It's saying you're doing well, just make sure you can keep maintaining it. Don't trick yourself and don't trick others. Just stay in the ways and places and vibration that you need to keep moving forward in this grand and beautiful and aligned fashion. At the bottom of the deck is my old friend Rumi. So the camera stopped and I was just prattling on there, so I'll get back to where I was with my old friend Rumi. And Rumi is so connected to the beloved, like an eternal poet. He and his poems talk about that divine connections, like with Father God. And a lot of it is from the heart chakra, and a lot of it is about the heart opening and that mystical knowing, breaking boundaries, personal experience of God. And this is where your bliss and the beauty in your life is coming from. It's your connection with the divine, which is spreading out on this earth and this plane, and all the connections that you make as a result of that, and completion in your mind and victory in your heart. It's very beautiful, and it's a high connection to have, and whatever that means, it just means in that, like, a source consciousness, just higher from our perspective as such. But it is a beautiful thing, and Rumi has incredible messages for us. And you can see there's like a steely look but a loving look in his eyes, and the green on the coat for the heart chakra. So in your knowing with Source and the divine is this bliss, is this wonder, is almost everything you need in itself, but that it can then bring everything to you that you do truly and divinely need to fulfill more of your purpose in this life. And with Rumi is Mother Mary. And again, these two are talking to ancestry on both of my sides. Rumi being a Sufi and on the Persian Iranian side of my family, and then on my mother's side they were very much connected to Mother Mary, making trips to Lourdes and trips to Fatima. So this video will get there, I promise you. It's too beautiful not to. As I said, ancestral lineage on my mum's side to Mother Mary, and that sense of divine love, you were divinely loved. And then this card, it says miraculous encounters, divine experiences, do not afraid of being powerful. And this is a steadfast power, this is a feminine power in a sense, in that love and compassion and empathy from a divine mother. There is lots of blue as in the throat chakra as well. So you are divinely loved through your ancestry and through yourself and through the universe. And that as well can bring you miraculous encounters and connections. And finally, pulled was Mount Shasta's moon from the Time Traveler's Oracle reflection. And I think you've done the reflection. This gives me a sense of the reflections being done, and everything is kind of like in a nice aligned balance. You have the stars, the moon, the mountain, the river and the land all in here. It feels like you're climbing the mountain, but you're climbing those mountains that give you that sense of completion now. You have a sense of direction of where you're going, and because everything seems to be so beautifully and divinely aligned, you just take the actions. You can keep reflecting as you go, but know the stars are in you, the stars are in your waters as much as they are in the sky. And underneath that, at the bottom of the deck, is focus again and adventure. You're ready for adventure. You just need to focus on the places you want to go, and those connections will come in because of this divine, loving sense of being held and your connection with Source. One last time, let this be motivation for you that whatever obstacles or limits are in your way, that you can always bring something beautiful and divinely aligned and a beautiful message to the world. There are always ways to overcome those limits. And so, I love you, I believe in you, and it all looks so beautiful for you. Namaste.